Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
I would like a fight song on this Tuesday, but I'm not going to get one.
No, you should not.
What are you going to fight about?
Right.
I'm fired up.
Oh,
It's
okay.
day number 9 of Cowboys Coach Search 2025. The college football season is over, and now it's full steam ahead for Shrine Bowl week here coming
That's
up
right.
at the end of the week.
How old is that bowl game?
It goes back as long as Randy White goes back.
Oh.
As when Randy White, a Manster, played in it in 1974, whatever year it was.
Oh,
This year is 100.
I was going to say 100, yeah,
Producer Supreme's got the answer for you.
because Randy White's only halfway there.
Yeah, it was half 100 years
You're
ago.
not even close.
Did
to
you not play in
covering
it?
the entire? Heck no, I went to Grambling. Come on, man. They don't look at us.
Usually players in Grambling do play in this
No,
game.
they don't. Not in the.
Not back then.
Not back then.
Now they do.
Now, Doug
'Cause the
Williams,
Shrine
Doug
Bowl-
Williams came along. Of course, you had to be something extremely special. But no, if you're gonna catch those guys, it's rarely HBCU players.
Well, the Shrine Bowl used to be big time.
It still is. It's going to be played at AT&T Stadium
Well,
Trying
I
to
mean,
bring it
a
back.
week from Thursday,
bring it
January 30th. Mickey.
Compared to the Senior Bowl.
Well, it's now. It's
Right.
rivaling it because
That's right.
it's going to be played at AT&T Stadium, Mickey,
I
on
know.
Thursday, January 30th.
Do they still have the Senior Bowl?
And they're going to work
Yes,
out
there
here.
is
They
a
do still
Senior
have a
Bowl,
Senior Bowl?
which is
And
going
then I
on
found
the
out
same
there's
week.
something called the Tropical Bowl that they moved from Orlando to Daytona Beach.
Get
They
this,
should
Everson.
have the Portal Bowl.
You know what? You know what, Everson? Get this. They actually now play high school. Of course, you had Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Now they've got high school all-star
All-Star.
games in Hawaii, the Poinsettia Bowl. And I saw the catch of the year on Friday night on the NFL Network, Decorian Moore out of Duncanville High School, who's headed to Oregon, #1 wide receiver recruit in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
He made the most incredible one-handed catch in traffic, and I started up.
I know you got it on the iPad.
I can send it to you,
Yes,
but I've already made him my #1 pick in the 2028 NFL Big Green Notebook.
Big Green Notebook.
That's right.
All right.
So
Well, I coached some kids the Navy All-Star game, All-American game. I think that was on this past Saturday.
oh, you did.
Yeah. Was it this past Saturday? Farouk Muhammad, all the DBs that I coached out there, man, they were pretty good kids. And they ended up playing in the Navy All-American game, which was down in San Antonio. It was nice.
All right. Very good.
Really cool. I caught some really nice talent there. And they played nationwide television that Saturday, following Saturday.
Could you have coach number 29 from Notre Dame put on the island by himself with the best wide receiver in the country?
Hey, man.
Well, or is Ryan Williams, the Alabama 17-year-old true freshman?
What happened to him? Did he get hurt?
No, I don't think
Seemed
so.
like he fell
Just
off at the end of the season.
That's because Alabama wasn't any good this year.
He fell off big at the end of the
Your
season.
man Nick Saban retired.
Yeah, well, Nick will say that's why.
But that's Jeremiah Smith, who Texas, by the way, held to 1 catch for 3 yards in the true national championship.
This guy
game.
really only had 2 catches of significance. One, they chose not to cover him. When the cornerback back there
Did you see the end of the
saw,
I did.
Okay.
so the first touchdown, right? He's waving. We don't have enough people over here. And he chose to go inside and let the best wide receiver in the country just uncovered.
Do you think that's just a knee-jerk reaction? Like, okay, if I'm here, I got a choice. You're number 4, you're somebody else. And so I come over and, I'm not taking him. I'm going to take him.
I say my job was
taking
to
the
go
easy guy,
inside.
right? Do you think that,
Now, on that play at the end, did they send everybody on the blitz? Was there no safety?
There was no
help?
safety.
Yeah.
There
right.
was no safety.
Which is, you have to question that.
So
Well, one thing you can't question, regardless of what they decide to do with number 4 or not. What's his name? Sorry.
Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith.
Well, Jeremiah, that catch is still the catch.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
still that was still his moment. You know, to show.
No, he was going to catch it.
And
It
he's
was,
wide,
it was wide open.
Wide open. I mean,
He still got to catch it, but
Still got to catch it.
yeah.
what about just getting on him on the line of scrimmage?
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't worry about the first down. Worry about the touchdown.
Yeah. Well, you would think.
It's a hell
I mean,
of a call, though.
It was third. Well,
That's what I'm saying. It's a hell of a call.
Yeah.
well,
It was third.
not particularly. It was 3rd and 11.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not going to. The only way you're going to end the game is that way, basically, because it was an all-out blitz,
Right.
and so he just reared back and threw it to the best receiver in the country, as you say,
And he made the play.
that's right.
And he's wide open.
And what was interesting about it is if they don't complete that ball, then Notre Dame's getting the football back now down 8. And by the way, Twitter went crazy. What?
We'll talk about it. Go ahead. Think about
Twitter went
the
crazy
Baltimore game.
when Marcus Freeman decided to kick the field goal down
Yeah,
16 points.
Yeah.
But really, when you
Wasn't
do
a bad touch.
exactly when you look at it in retrospect,
It would have come down.
all right.
perfect.
Number one, they were not going to convert on 4th down. The way that game was, it was 4th and 9 or whatever
Right,
it was.
right.
Yeah. And you had enough time left where you clearly had enough time to get possession. If they if they make the field goal, and then it plays out like it did, they got the ball back, they scored a touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
they would have been down with 4:15 left in the game. They're down only 6, needing a touchdown and just an extra point to win the game.
Here was my other thought, and I don't know.
But Twitter was going nuts. Oh, that's crazy.
I was thinking you've got limited time and you're going to have limited possessions, right? So if I kick the field goal and make it, I can onside kick and steal a possession back. But if I miss on the 4th down,
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
toast.
Yeah,
right.
I just felt like
I thought that's what he was thinking. I'm going to onside.
Well, you know what I was thinking? Number one, they were bogged in. They weren't converting. And secondly, what were the odds that they were going to make 3 2-point conversions?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
exactly.
so you were probably going to have to kick a field goal. If this miraculous comeback was going to happen, they were going to have to kick a field goal at some point. And as it turned out, there was plenty of time left because they finally got a stop. And Ryan Day's much like Lincoln Riley, where he gets a lead in the game and he goes into a shell. They quit running their offense, and they're just running that little quarterback draw, Kansas State quarterback run all the time. And so they're not converting until they had to throw it deep to the best wide receiver in the country in the end of the game. Anyway.
I wanted to be there and ask him, were you thinking of onside kicking? Because there was like 4 minutes to go, and they still needed 2 possessions.
Well, at that point, there were like 9 minutes. There was 8 or 9 minutes
it that
left.
much?
Yeah.
When they missed the
When they missed the field goal. Yeah.
that much time?
Yep. There was that much time because they got the ball back, scored, and got it to within 8 with 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
I think it just seemed like it was less time because they weren't. They just weren't
because they weren't
effective up
doing
to that
anything.
point.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Yeah.
Or if you're Washington and you just bang the field goal off the upright and let it bounce in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bang. I mean, you talking about the missed field goal?
No, the one the
Commanders.
Commanders, the one they made.
Oh. Well, you got me there.
Sorry,
This place is moving
I changed
It is.
gears.
This show's moving fast.
I was getting back to the NFL.
And by the way, we are on at a different time because of the holiday yesterday.
Yes.
We moved to 9 o'clock on Tuesday just for this week. Next week, we will be back at 11 a.m. on Monday. This, as I mentioned off the top, is day number 9 of the coach search. And do you think we will have a coach named by the next time we convene next Monday at 11 a.m.? Or is it going longer than that?
Oh, it's going long.
Well, if indeed they're serious about Kellen Moore, then it's going to go longer than that.
They could make that and that game is being played on Sunday. If he lost on Sunday,
Right.
By 11 a.m. Monday, they could name him the coach.
Right.
Kind of like what Chicago did with Ben Johnson.
So Ben's gone. Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson's gone to Chicago. So Mike McCarthy's not the new coach of the Chicago Bears.
And he
And
never
we don't
was
get
going to be. That was always a ploy to try to show the Cowboys that Mike McCarthy's got other options.
And we don't get to use Ben and Jerry.
Ah,
Come on, man. I was
very
holding
nice.
that in my back pocket for like
Very nice.
a month.
Thinking about that forever.
Come on, man.
Did you ever express to Jerry that thought?
I
Because that was a
never
great
I just knew someone
sponsorship.
from one of the radio shows was going to say it. I've been I've been having that. I think I wrote it down. Let me see.
Well, Jerry might have actually interviewed him if
Ben and Jerry.
we give him that sponsorship idea.
That was fun.
All right.
I don't think that was going to happen.
I don't think so either. So
Why would you say?
Well, number one, the Bears' job to me would be safer because now I've got a young quarterback that I'm in charge of developing,
interesting.
right? Instead of inheriting a job that everybody expects. Okay, we're going now 13-4 because I've got the quarterback. So I think from a 5-year deal that's safe, I think the Bears was probably a better choice.
we have breaking news.
Yes.
Being reported now, the Cowboys are expected to interview their own offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, for their vacant head coaching job.
Okay, so last week I was told that there's another candidate whose name hadn't come up yet,
That would be the one.
and I think this might be the one.
Because his name had not come up yet. And the first time, I think it may have been mentioned by others, but
No, it had not.
the first time that I heard his name mentioned was on the Fox pregame show just prior to kickoff on Sunday when, and it was, now that I look back at it, Kurt Menefee, it was a strange placement in the pregame show.
Right.
Because we are leading up to kickoff of the Philadelphia Rams game, and usually earlier in the show they take care of all the coaching rumors going on.
The league
and Kurt Menefee said he set up Jimmy Johnson to say something about the Cowboys coach search, and this is the first time I heard Schottenheimer's name mentioned. He said, I think it's going to come down. The relationship with Dak Prescott is the key here, and so look for Brian Schottenheimer or Kellen Moore. And I went,
And he said it with
Jimmy has some
lot of-
information. Yes.
with a lot of emotion.
Confident.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence.
I mean, he was Jimmy was
tells
was
me
coming out of the screen.
Right.
I think
Jimmy hardly does that, on air.
I'm just
on air.
speculating because of the timing. It was late in their pregame show. Now, maybe he mentioned it earlier. I don't know. That's just what I saw.
That's what I saw.
And I thought he has found out something here because no one else was talking about Schottenheimer. So, and then sure enough, by the next morning, the odds on
The odds in
Draft
Vegas just shot up like
he was the odds on choice to be the next head coach of the Cowboys.
this came down from the mount, right? That Jimmy said it. So
Yeah.
the odds are here's our betting favorite.
And here I thought I was
And
the only
Jimmy
one.
never really speaks on Cowboys.
And-
No, he doesn't. That was
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy's not like an investigative reporter.
No.
He's
not going to be, hey, I got something.
All he's doing is
Ring the bells, ring the
All
bells.
he's doing is answering his phone.
Right.
And and as it turns out, I heard that his name did get mentioned last week inside the building.
Okay.
Well, sure.
So I mean, it was kind of I when Jimmy said it, I was thinking, okay, well that's just kind of putting two and two together,
Right.
Right? He's the
Offensive
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, has a relationship with the quarterback.
But the way it was packaged,
Yes, I know.
that was like, okay.
It was
got
intentional.
Yes, he's got some new information here, and he wanted to get it out there. And
yeah,
he
but
did.
I mean, is it legitimate information?
Oh, I think it. I think it is. Well, clearly it is now that we are learning. They're being reported widely that the Cowboys are interviewing.
I mean, did
Brian
they have to
Schottenheimer.
report they were going to interview? He's in the building.
Right.
It's not like they got to bring him in.
But Jimmy said it's important.
Well, he said it like it was important.
Is he still in the building?
Well, I think
Didn't all the contracts expire?
I know, but you
last
could
week?
still be here.
I mean, you can, yeah.
Yeah.
But
You can still be here.
I would think so.
You can still get lunch.
like we were trying
There
to
is a
determine.
free lunch.
We last night on our show, I went and found some old soundbite from Brian Schottenheimer talking about Dak Prescott.
I saw that.
Talking about his relationship with Dak or whatever. Just mainly for people, even though he talks every week, we don't typically use Brian Schottenheimer sound bites on TV.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to show people, okay, this is how this guy talks, which is one of his strengths. He's a very good communicator.
Okay.
But and just to give people paint a picture, okay, this is who Brian Schottenheimer is. And I just can't remember where I was going with that.
Well,
but-
here's the question. Do you consider this low-hanging fruit? Is it something that's legitimate, even though it has been brought out in
I
that
think
manner?
it's the
I think it's a
relationship with Dak.
consideration.
Yeah.
I think it. One of the keys on this is they paid a lot of money to their quarterback, and he's a part of this process, and it's how he's going to be most effective. And if Dak
How
gives
is he doing?
well, I think Dak probably is given a ringing endorsement to Schottenheimer.
I'm sure. I mean, the last thing you want is a big shakeup while you're trying to come back from a major injury. You want to be as comfortable as possible. You don't want to have to go through a whole bunch of.
But the other thing with
routines.
Schottenheimer, okay, if you want him to remain or start calling plays now or whatever, I mean, he doesn't have to be the head coach to do that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He could remain the offensive coordinator, and now you've basically given him a promotion where he's calling plays now under another head coach.
Well-
and because as Mike McCarthy may be finding out right now, okay, where's he going to land?
And if he gets hired as the head coach, do they want him to be the offensive coordinator?
Right? Does he?
Because my bottom line on Friday when I wrote, I said, you can give me all these people that are candidates, right? But the question everybody's got to answer is, who's the offensive coordinator? Because if you hire a defensive guy, that's the first question I ask you. Who are you going to hire? And if it's an offensive guy, are you the head coach and then you got an offensive coordinator, or are you the offensive coordinator? But the key thing here is who's going to run this offense? Because when you got rid of Mike McCarthy, you also got rid of basically the offensive coordinator.
It seems like we're just going for comfort here. I don't want to be too comfortable. I get it. They don't want to change things. If we wouldn't have had all these injuries last year, I get it where they see if we can just get most of those guys back and won't be so chaotic as it was this past season, then we could keep things as close to normal as possible as far as keeping the same coaches, as far as keeping the same coordinators.
Or did he have other ideas that they weren't following? He was just following what McCarthy said. Because if you think about the offense,
he took it over. He took it over the last, 2 years?
The last 2 years. And Schottenheimer, 3 years ago in 2022, Schottenheimer was in the building as an analyst, primarily looking at the defense during that season. And then Kellen Moore walked away and went to the Chargers in 2023. And
because
Schottenheimer,
Mike wanted to take over the offense.
And so then Schottenheimer became the quote-unquote offensive coordinator, though McCarthy was a play caller, and that's the way it's been the last 2 years. And, by the way, in the 2023 season, Dak was second in the MVP voting. So
Now, and here's the other thing that
And they cut down on those interceptions that they had with Kellen Moore as
yes,
the OC.
they did.
Before.
But remember, Kellen, a lot of those interceptions weren't Dak's, though. The criticism of Kellen was always he wanted to throw the ball too much.
True. Yeah.
What did they do in Philadelphia? Ran the ball at a NFL record pace.
Well,
You had that option.
until
Because they could run the ball.
Mickey, until the last drive of the game the other day, and they're in the snow. They've got Saquon Barkley, who's run for 205 yards in that game. And on first down, they hand it off to Barkley for 3 yards. It's 2nd and 7. And then Kellen Moore called a quarterback bootleg and with a quarterback playing on a bad knee. And it was a sack. And the Rams got back in the game because of that play call.
But they ran for 200 yards.
Exactly. But you would too if Jalen Hurts was your quarterback and Saquon Barkley was your running back.
Right.
But my point is and this is what happened a lot of times when Moore was here, I think you go back to what's in your DNA in critical.
Oh, you mean he's too cute?
Well,
Yeah.
passing is in his DNA.
Well,
and so on second down and 7 at the 33, where they need to run the football and not give the football back to the Rams, they run a bootleg where and get sacked, and now you got to punt the football away.
I think that the term is he tries to outsmart everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what that play was.
Yeah,
where just give Barkley the ball.
Right.
In the snow.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Anyway. And by the way, speaking of that, did you like Ben Johnson's play call on the double reverse wide receiver pass in the game against Washington the other night? Jamison Williams throws the interception.
About
what are you doing?
Cute.
Yeah, I mean,
whoa.
This is the offensive genius. Okay, they're finally getting some momentum. They're getting back into the game, and he decides to call a double reverse pass with the wide receiver throwing the ball into coverage. One of the best cornerbacks in the league, the rookie Mike Sainristil with Washington, who had 2 picks in that game. So you're having a wide receiver, and Dan Campbell said after the game, "Well, I wish he would have made the decision to run it." Well, you don't expect Jamison Williams to make any decision that's rational on the field in that situation. Don't put a wide receiver in the position where he has to make that decision.
And, that's just a waste of his talent. Why are you trying to throw the ball? What is he a quarterback? Does he have any background?
I don't think so, but
it was a nice pass.
Yeah.
A little short. It spiraled.
Oh, no.
Well, look, Washington, and I wrote it on Wednesday. Don't bet against this team because they're living a charmed existence.
Well, here's what I say about
chances? What are the chances that on 4th and 2 at 5, and they're not listening to Tom Brady yelling, "You better call timeout! You better call timeout! You got too many guys on the field." Right, and then they got penalized, and now it's 1st and goal at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? You didn't do anything to create that. They are living a charmed existence.
Well, I must say, regardless of that, they were less charmed in this game than they were in any other game.
Well,
because
that play turned into a touchdown, right?
Yeah, but for that play,
what if you stopped them on 4th?
For that play to give you a 14-point win against this team. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, Detroit should have. They played them as well as I've seen anyone play Detroit this year, offensively or defensively.
Okay, and so,
but you still gave up 30-some points.
Yeah, but you scored 45.
I know.
Dang, dude.
Come by the way,
against one hell
speaking
of a defense, man.
Or 48, whatever it was.
Speaking of that, I'm sitting here on Ben Johnson. Okay, he's supposed to be this genius, and you got to hire this guy. Oh, I can't believe you're not interviewing this guy. That called the double reverse wide receiver pass. Right. Okay, well then we got the other guy who I love, Aaron Glenn, but okay, he is the defensive coordinator, and there are 12 men on the field there, and so who's responsible for this stuff?
And at these moments,
it's like these other candidates. Okay, on a 15-win team, they can do no wrong. Okay, you gotta hire these guys, and they're just as human as the guys that you've.
Let me tell you something.
And I think the head coach should have called timeout.
As you look at
and that's
all
the other thing. The head coach.
As you look at all these championship games, there are very few coaches that are like the elite coaches. And these are good teams. But I'm sorry. Coaches make mistakes,
Exactly.
and we have seen it in every game over and over again. Not the player. We're talking about coaches making critical mistakes in huge games. We've been watching them since December.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
And the greatest coaches of all time make mistakes.
Come on, all the time, bro.
Yep.
And so we romanticize the Toms and with Pittsburgh's coach. We romanticize those guys, but man.
Oh,
They
Mike Tomlin's
screwed up
under,
a lot.
Mike
They screwed
Tomlin's
up a whole lot.
under as much fire as any coach in the league, and he's got 21 straight winning seasons.
Come on,
in
man.
Pittsburgh.
But he can't win a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's right. All right.
It's got to work out well for you.
Even Nick Saban might have made a mistake once or twice.
Yeah, every once in a while. That's right.
But don't be flushing the toilet too many times.
And don't get that barbecue pit.
And we're back with more Mick Shots in a moment.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next oval with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle?
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, Amanda Foster has been named your 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan, for her dedication to the team and spicing up the game. Vote for Amanda to be named the ultimate NFL Fan of the Year at NFL.com/Fan of the Year.
All right, very good. Mickey, would you like to clarify anything on the Shrine Bowl going on here?
No,
he was called on the carpet
in your mouth.
during the break. Mickey was called on the carpet for saying that the practices would be at Ford Center. They are not, because we've got Dallas Open tennis that gets started next week, and so they would be practicing on tennis courts if they were here. So they have they're going to be practicing at indoor facilities in the area, and I was told last week that UNT was one of the.
That's correct. UNT.
Okay.
So I can't just walk down the hall.
No,
and
you
watch
can't. Yeah.
like I did last year.
That's
I was told Isaiah Stanback is on that call, by the way, for the Shrine Bowl.
right.
Hey, my man.
okay. Very good. All right. So we've talked about anything else on Schottenheimer that you want to. And again, the breaking news this morning is the Cowboys have put in a request to interview Brian Schottenheimer.
You have to request.
They put
when
in
the
a
guys-
request with their own team,
with their
with
own
a,
guy.
with
Might
a
be
coach
still
who's
in-
not
he
under
might be still in his
contract.
office down there. Just go in there.
Well,
and give
one
him
guy
give
that
him a
evidently
memo.
is not in his office is John Fossil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the others, of course, just to bring everybody up to speed on the long weekend. Maybe you were out of pocket, but Kellen Moore did a virtual interview on Friday morning. And then on Saturday morning, Robert Saleh, the former Jets head coach, was here. And then yesterday, it was Leslie Frazier, the assistant head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. So Schottenheimer, by our count, would be interviewed number 4, but the third on the premises here.
So I wonder if they asked my question to Saleh and Leslie Frazier.
About who would your offensive coordinator be?
Yes. Better have a good answer.
And they answered Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, right.
Here's their answer. Here's the answer. The offensive coordinator is whoever Dak Prescott wants it to be.
That's right.
There you go. What if he says Kellen Moore?
He won't say Kellen Moore. He will not say.
You don't think so?
Nah, I don't.
Well, Kellen Moore got an interview.
He got it. Well, I'm sorry, the offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just
yeah.
All right.
offensive
Okay.
coordinator.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. That's why I want to make sure you clarify that it's not
making a sideways move.
Yeah, you know how people will just take a little clip, a little sound bite, and say, "Well, Everson Walls says that Dak doesn't like Kellen Moore."
Well, and
I did not say that.
And here was my point too on answering the question about the offense.
Yes.
Offensive coordinator. Five of the top 7 salaries in 2024 were offensive guys. So if I'm spending all that money on the offense, I better find somebody to run that offense.
Offensive minded.
Right? And then next year, I figured out 7 of the top 12 guys were in cap hits are offensive guys. So if I'm spending all my money there, then I better be able to take care of my top salaries, and I better be pretty good on offense if I'm healthy.
When I look at the Detroit game, I was very surprised. I always seem like I'm on the outside looking in when it comes to favorites. You know, I was really carrying the banner for Jared Goff for MVP this season, which he was doing.
Oops.
Shut up. which he was doing pretty well at the time, right? I mean, just really looking good, throwing some really good passes in clutch situations all season long, even the games that they lost.
By the way, playing in one of the worst divisions in football, as it turns out, if you look at the playoffs.
But it wasn't like that before the playoffs.
That's exactly
Everyone
right.
was talking
As it
about
turns
how
out,
crazy the North
the
was.
Cowboys were playing in the best division in the
Go figure that.
conference.
Go figure that, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
And they went 500.
Golly, man, come on. Look at the teams that we did beat outside of our division. Come on, this team was really
All right, continue.
We're getting out. Yeah,
Jared Goff.
I was gonna say, well, now I see why. No one wanted him for MVP. It's just the way it was. He ended up going back to the same old things that he did back when he was with the Rams. You know, you could see as he and Sam Darnold, to me, are from the same cloth, cut from the same cloth. These guys don't like pressure. They don't perform well under pressure. And of course, I'm going to always compare this to what I've seen Dak do. Everyone talked about how elite these guys were. Dak has been up against this kind of pressure for the past 5 years. He's always looking at that kind of pressure in big games. He's always had the most pressures as a quarterback, right, put upon him. I'd say he'd have to be in the top 5 in the last 3 years as far as being hit by more than most quarterbacks. So when I look at him, I look at Sam Darnold, I look at Jared Goff. You know, I was so disappointed in Goff because I thought he was going to show me something different, and he didn't. After all of these years, he's still that same quarterback.
And the same thing happened to Darnold.
Same thing.
That was the guy you were used to seeing, and it showed up the last game of the season and then the playoff, right?
It wasn't even close.
It was like, what are you doing? And that was the question you used to ask about that guy.
Well, here's the thing. That's why defense is so good. That's why good defense is so important. You stop a lot of things from happening. I'll say this. A good defense stops some history-making plays. They stop history from happening. You know, if you play good defense, then great plays don't happen.
I hate to point this part out because it sounds so cliche-ish, but watching the college playoffs, the NFL playoffs, if you ain't strong up front on both sides of the line.
That's it, bro. That's it. Ask Texas.
Right?
Yeah, you can't.
Yours was under pressure.
Under pressure the whole
Ohio
time.
State. And
that's why.
And those are two tackles that are supposed to be first-round draft picks.
And I keep hearing people saying about yours, it's like, and then he fumbled in the biggest play. And I'm going, no, his right tackle didn't block the guy.
My brother's he went to UT. He hates Ewers. Like, dude, what is wrong with
Ewers? He gets blindsided by a guy that should have been blocked.
Oh, I don't get it. But, you know, we'll see when it comes to Ewers next year. But, man, as far as a college quarterback, as far as the University of Texas, I think that's the quarterback they needed. And, boy, I hope Archie Manning is at
Arch
Manning. I hope that he comes in here and does well because they are depending on this young man a lot.
By the way, my understanding is that, just going back to that, we got to go to a break here, on that goal line situation for Texas against Ohio State, Arch was not available.
Oh, why
Remember,
they didn't use him to try to run
He
the
got
ball.
hurt earlier on the remember the play
Yes.
where he ran the ball and he coughed up the ball, but he was down?
Yes, he did, yes.
Understand he was in protocol, and so he was
No one's ever
said anything about that, but that's my understanding from inside sources down there.
Well, and just look at Notre Dame last night. The left tackle who hadn't played all year, he had to go in there and play against their best pass rusher. He struggled, right? And that turned
He's
things
normally
around.
a guard, and he kicked out to tackle.
Yeah.
And then you got Kansas City. They got one of the best guards in the league, Joe Tooney. They've had to kick him out to tackle.
And struggled.
And so, anyway. All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Go.
Dallas Open?
Dallas Open.
The biggest names in tennis head to the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco this February. Witness top-ranked Casper Ruud and former Dallas Open champion, American Tommy Paul, dazzle the court as the Dallas Open moves to a new home. Catch all hard-hitting action and watch the top players on the tour compete live. Tickets are available now at SeatGeek.com. Bam, we're done.
That's next week.
They didn't give you the dates?
They didn't give me no dates, man.
I believe it's February 1st through the 9th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why.
This February, that's it.
Well, when's the Shrine Bowl?
It's January 30th. So, yeah, I guess I have to set up early for the Dallas
And you don't even
Open.
have a read for the Shrine.
For AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, we've given a lot of time to the
It's
Shrine
a
Bowl on
Thursday
the
night,
show.
right?
Thursday night, a week from Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thursday.
The prospects will be arriving probably on Friday, something like that. And so, all right, this little note. It sounds like the Jets have targeted Aaron Glenn as their new head coach. He's talking with them today, and the goal.
He played there.
Yes, he did. He was drafted, first-round draft pick of the Jets out of Texas A&M, and the goal is to keep him from leaving the building today and make him the next head coach of the New York Jets.
I just really like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like him as a person. Like the way he coaches, the way he speaks. I think he would be good. And again, we got to remember when you're hiring a head coach, it's got to be somebody that can stand in front of 70 people 5 days a week and hold their attention. Like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Or at least you say it like you know what you're talking about. Not every coordinator is a head coach.
It's, some guys have to manage. Some guys are good at head coaching. Some are
it's a different skill
good
set.
at being hands-on. You have, like you said, you have to capture their attention every day, all day.
And you have
to be able to manage a team. You have to be able to manage people, And as defensive coordinator, I'm sure he's done that from a partial standpoint. And I would imagine the way he saw Dan Campbell do it, he's been right there with him the entire time.
And we're going to get to the Bills and the Ravens here in just a second, but real quick, what did you see from Bill Parcells and the way he managed people?
Parcells, he was really good at how he was able to, because with Parcells, he and George Young didn't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to deal with a hostile GM. And I mean, they hated each other. I mean, it was so clear when Bill left. George was like, "Yeah, I finally got what I need."
And then he made the mistake on who he hired after.
Well, yeah, I mean, he made the mistake by not liking Parcells, and not dealing and dealing with him better on a more even basis. Parcells was able to keep management out of the player's way. He was always good at. He always said, I want the team and management to hate me, not to hate each other. He was the go-between, okay? I keep George, keep you away from my players. I'll talk to you about my players. That's who you talk to me about. You don't go talk to my players. I'll take care of that. And when it came to management, if players had a beef, then we had to go strictly to Parcells. Don't go above him. You could if you wanted to. He wouldn't hold it against you. But the way he wanted it was, you come talk to me about it. I will handle management. So he was just a real good middleman.
And the one thing that he did here, he brought in a couple of his guys.
Yeah.
And they were the locker room guys.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. They kind of
He believed in that.
Not only ran the locker room, but he was the go-between between the players and himself.
And most likely it was a linebacker.
It was.
Parcells is a linebacker type of person.
Gary Reasons.
And was it Gary?
I don't know.
Not
I'm saying it with the Giants.
Oh, yeah. He had somebody on defense. Offense was Richie Anderson.
Uh-huh.
So he could kind of monitor. He didn't go in the locker room, but he had locker room monitors.
Yeah, that's right.
And and he commanded.
It was usually Carl Banks or Pepper Johnson type that would he would take them with him. He took them to Cleveland. You saw what happened when Pepper went to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Come back in here and they whipped our butts. after they got rid of me. So I'm like, yeah, they don't need you, Everson.
But I guess my question for you is more along the lines of how he dealt with players on a daily basis, as far because a lot of it was the antagonism type, but he also. Was he one of those types that if he's giving you a hard time, that means he likes you?
If he's giving you a hard time,
yes,
that means you better tighten up.
Okay,
that's what that means.
But there's a good natured getting on you that
if he doesn't give you a hard time,
you're out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the point right there.
But he's engaging one way or the other.
If he's engaged with you, then he wants to work with you.
Yeah. You've got a future here.
He's checking out he's checking your temperature. Trying to see what you're about. And so, when I first got there, he did the same thing with me. He went around asking some of the players that not just came in with me, but those that were there, asking them what kind of person did they think I was? What kind of player did they think I was? He asked Thornton Chandler. He asked Steve DiAsi. But he also asked Pepper Johnson, and he also asked Carl Banks.
But that's all part of managing people.
There's no doubt, because he talked to different types of people.
That's right.
That's why that's the way he treated the media, too.
But that didn't work for them.
Yeah, well, if you were smart, you understood.
Yeah.
If he was on you, he was paying attention at least.
It may sound to an outsider like, well, he really gave Mickey a hard time, but he was actually.
I told you the story.
That's New Jersey. That's New Jersey.
That's right.
Yeah. He's a New Jersey guy.
That's right.
They're going to be real with you. But come on, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not trying to go behind anybody else's back. I'm coming to you. But you have some who, if I'm Parcells and I come to you in that manner, they're still uncomfortable, and they will go and complain, and they will, take note unnecessarily.
That's the half Italian in him.
I think it is.
It is.
It is. I mean, and you got to love it because it's real. Give me a coach that's not going to BS me, man. I really, because some players can see it coming.
And the players who can't handle it, they don't need to be on his team.
Don't need to be on this team.
They're not going to excel.
That's why the culture there. When I came from here, and simply because we had gone through so much here with the Cowboys, so there are a lot of built-in excuses, a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming, just everywhere. But when I went to New York, the whole thing was nobody's blaming anybody. We are in this locker room. It's the most solid locker room I've ever seen, and I've never been on the defense. I've never been on defense like that before. I played with some great players here. I've never been on the defense that had that kind of culture to where they were the stars of the team. The culture was defense. And if you stopped them on 3rd and 2, you got a standing ovation in the stands.
And I think that's why I'm not sure about Bledsoe, but like guys like Drew Henson, Chad Hutchinson, they were never going to flourish under.
They shrunk.
You got to be tough.
But
Look
Romo.
how hard it was for Phil Simms.
But Romo is not the sensitive type where Romo will flourish under him.
Yeah.
Okay. And Witten was the same way. Where he's a tough guy.
Oh yeah. You love Witten, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. All right. Tell me about the Bills Ravens. What do you think?
I feel so sorry for Andrews. So sorry for Andrews. Good pass, right? Good pass.
It was good. It could have been
a little bit low, but
he kind of aimed it, and it was right there. Yeah.
This is the championship.
It's kind of like, I think it's the same way that Roger talks about the pass to Jackie Smith.
I was going to say that.
Roger
I thought of that immediately.
But Roger would say that, I should have given him a better pass.
But he still got to catch it.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
Yeah.
You come on, guys. I remember Drew Pearson. I'll never forget Drew Pearson. He talked about how wide receivers complain about they want to pass it. He said, anywhere in here is a good pass. That you can be as low as you want. Just catch the damn ball, bro.
And he's their best receiver.
And he's their best receiver.
Right?
Well, Jackie Smith's in the Hall of Fame.
He made more than one mistake in this game, though.
Yeah.
He made like 3 mistakes.
Well,
big
he had the fumble.
Fumble.
Yeah.
And then another missed pass.
See, and like with Jackie Smith, people forget that he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. But as soon as Mark Andrews drops that ball, Jackie Smith starts trending on Twitter.
and
trended in my mind.
And my brother is like, oh, he's from OU. Oh, yeah, he's from OU. What do you expect? Hey, so
I already used it. I was texting with Babe Laufenberg what I said earlier in the show that Ryan Day. He quit running his offense late in that game, and he got close on him. And I said that was one of the most frustrating things with Lincoln Riley at OU is that he would shut down the offense once he got a lead in the game. Case in point, they played in the college football playoff semifinal, one of the great ones, at the Rose Bowl against Georgia, which wound up being a 50-48 game or something like that. But they got way up on him, and then he shut down the offense. Yeah, right. And I texted to Babe, I said, yeah, and in that game, he had Baker Mayfield, CeeDee Lamb, and Jackie Smith. Mark Andrews.
Got to be like Jimmy and throw the slant to Elvin Harper in the 92 NFC title game, right?
I mean, we could have been looking at a really classic overtime.
So when we
can you imagine if that game went to overtime?
Oh man!
So when we
it was sad, man.
reconvene on Monday, Mick Schatz at 11, we're gonna have a new head coach.
No,
you don't think so?
No,
I think we could.
You think we could? Think Jason Witten will be named the new head coach by Monday at 11 a.m.
I think he'll have a spot. I think he'll have a spot. On the
Jason Witten will have a spot
on the staff.
Mm-hmm.
You think he wants that? I mean, just the tight end coach?
I don't think he wants just the tight end coach.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, no. But
no, I don't think. I don't know. I mean,
you don't think he'll keep?
You got to think about what he's given up. He's got 2 more years.
That's my point.
Coaching his son.
Yes.
And so I think
that's my
it's just me talking here. I think the only way that he would give that up, coaching his youngest son, his older son is going to Rice, so he's already graduated. He's got one more, one of the top recruits in the country, a safety. He's got him for 2 more years. He would be giving that up. So if he were giving that up, he would want to be more than just a tight ends coach. He would want to be a position on the staff where he is.
Give me some promises. It better be a hell of a promise. I better be considered for something.
Or he's getting better. He's getting more. He's getting better experience than just being in the tight end room for an eventual goal of being a head coach in the NFL.
Because remember, they keep comparing that to Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell coached in the NFL quite a while before he got the head coach.
Well, and Witten was in the NFL for 17 years, so it's
gotta go
quick learning curve here. All right,
the bell just went off
at 11 a.m. on Monday.
Go Cowboys!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!